my name is Remy. I'm a teacher at Bluff City High School. I teach 9th through 12th grade English as a second language. And today I'm going to show you how you can do a really easy look like what I have on right now for us to use in Zoom. I know that because of coronavirus, it's really kind of shifted how we do our lives, such as girls' night right now. But I really wanted to do a look that was really easy to accomplish in Zoom, that you could do in 15 minutes, just so then you can look bright, have fun, and still have a little bit of normalcy in our lives during this pandemic.
Okay, so I'm going to start by doing my brows. I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. I did not know that they are cruelty-free and vegan. I didn't have to get a lot of new products to have a cruelty-free and vegan product line of what I'm using today, but it was really cool to find that a lot of things I already own are cruelty-free and vegan. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start with my brows just because they really set my face, and I feel like virtually brows are a big part of what people see. I always comb my brows back because my brows are really wild in the morning. This is the afternoon, so my brows aren't as bad, but I normally brush them back and shape them, so then all I have to do is apply the product really, really easy into it. I always try to shape it and go with the tail first, just since the tail and the back end are supposed to be the darker end of your brows. I also prefer my brows to look just a little bit darker just because I think it's a really cool look. But I know some people are really into natural brows and things like that, and I would always recommend just going a different shade or a lighter shade if that's what you're looking for, a more natural finish. But I really enjoy the darker look. And then I always try to just feather out the ends so that way it can still look finished and full. But I think there's a big difference between my brows being done and not being done. After I do my brows, I always put concealer on as a base for my eyes because I do my eyes before I do the rest of my face. But other people use different eye bases. I'm using this NYX Studio Photogenic Concealer. And again, all of NYX is cruelty-free and vegan, which I had no clue. NYX is one of my favorite brands, especially from Target, Ulta, things like that. But 100%, they're really budget friendly and they're really, really good products. So I highly recommend them. But I just put a little dab on each of my eyes just so I can kind of coat them. And then I use my beauty blender and I spread it out really, really quick. Just so then it can be all over my lid as a nice base. So then whatever eyeshadow I'm using can stick really, really well to my entire eye. Because I have really, really, really veiny eyes. So I like trying to cover as many of my veins in my eyes as I can. I also just have a lot of area, I feel like, on my eye to cover. I'm going to be using, it's very dirty, so sorry, but my Jaclyn Hill palette. It just means that she's been really, really loved. I didn't also know all Morphe is cruelty-free, and most of their brands are vegan. The Jaclyn Hill palette specifically is vegan on their website. I looked it up. But yeah, most of Morphe is cruelty-free, which was very, very cool. So I'm going to use, I'm going to be using this first shade just because I really like having a very nice light base throughout my entire face. I just grab a nice little flat brush and yeah, I spread it all over as a nice little base. This base I think is really fun because it isn't entirely matte. There's some shimmer in it, so it makes me not want to put highlight onto all over my brow bone, which is what I normally do, because it kind of does that for me. But I just cover my entire lid with the matte shade, or not the matte shade, but the base shade first. And then after I get a base shade, I go into the color. So I'm doing my really quick routine that I do whenever I get on Zoom with my kids. So whenever I get on Zoom with my kids, I just get a really big fluffy brush, like just a giant brush, and I dip in 2 colors. I really like doing kind of browns and then kind of reds. So I think I'm gonna go into these 2 colors, just so that my eye will have a little bit of color, but nothing that's too intense. Nothing that I would be like going out in, but something that's just really fast, really easy. I dip in both of them so that way I can get some. I always tap off my extra, and then I just go into the crease. I go all over the crease, just make it as much as I can so that there's some color, and I blend it out so that way outwardly you won't see any harsh lines or anything like that. And then I do the same thing for the other eye. And then as I'm blending, if I notice one eye has a little bit more color than the other eye, I'll go back in and kind of fix it. But I try to make them as even as I can, especially since Zoom and online is kind of like our new norm. It doesn't have to be as perfect as it would be if I'm going out to meet people, just because on Zoom people can't really tell, and that's great. Okay, and then I still really like, I don't like doing cut creases. I don't think that, especially on Zoom, I don't know how purposeful they are, but I love still going in with a nice little shimmer. So I think for us today, based on the color we have, I think I'm gonna go in probably with this one, just so I have a lighter shade that can still look really, really cute. Whenever I go in with my shimmers, I don't use a brush, I just use my finger. However, people can go in with anything. It's probably much more sanitary to go in with a brush, especially during COVID times. So don't share your makeup if you do that. But I just pat it on. I think that it packs on really, really well. And I always pack it just on the front half of my eye, not all the way through. Just because on the back half, I like seeing that color. Great. And then on your eye, you get a little bit of shimmer. I always go back in with my fluffy brush just so I can make sure that I blend that out and there's no harsh lines, especially for my finger. And I really tap in kind of on the end. So it looks just a little bit more kind of put together, smooth, natural, and it doesn't look like I have super shiny eyes. But yeah, this is my eyes. And then going in with my eyeliner, I'm using an e.l.f. eyeliner today, the Intense Ink eyeliner. Again, another brand that is really, really great for your budget. e.l.f., I had no clue, was cruelty-free and vegan, which is really, really nice. They're at Target on the low, so you should definitely go and get some e.l.f. products because I have a lot that I'm using today. I like using felt tip just because I think it helps a lot whenever you're doing wings. I always do wings on my eyes, but whenever I do my wings, I draw a nice little triangle. So I draw it going out to however far I want my little wing to be, and then I just draw it back in and connect it. And then from there, I love going in and making sure this line is kind of thick all the way through. I don't go all the way down to my corner, I just go halfway, and then I fill in all that's left. So that way it's really, really quick. It takes me like a minute to do all of my eyeliner. My girls, whenever I'm in school, they will bring me their eyeliner so I can do it for them in the mornings, which is really cool. Just because they really love doing wings, but they don't practice the triangles on themselves. So they really don't understand how it all mashes up, which I think is really cool. But then you get a really cute little wing that isn't too thick, isn't too big, or anything like that. And I just repeat it on the same side. And just fill in. Great. And then once you're done with that, you have 2 cute little wings. For our mascara, I'm using another e.l.f. product. I'm using the Length and Volume product by e.l.f. Again, cruelty-free and vegan, so I'd highly recommend. I personally don't do lashes. I only depend on my mascara. So I think it's really cool, especially whenever you're doing looks for Zoom, just doing really, really natural, easy eyes, just so then you don't need really big lashes to accentuate your eyelashes on camera. However, a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my students really love using big lashes on Zoom. So that can be whatever you want. I think lashes, especially in the morning for me, just don't really feel like a big necessity since I'm not seeing anyone except for my dogs all day. And then I go over a faint little bit on my lower line, but not a lot. If I was seeing actual people, I would go a lot more intense on my lower eye. But since it's just Zoom and camera school, it is very casual for my kiddos. This mascara is really, really good. This is a product I actually did have to buy because I didn't have any mascara that was cruelty-free and vegan, which I think is common for mascaras, right? Like it's pretty difficult to do. But this is actually a really, really nice mascara. I really like it. It's making my lashes look really long, and you can see them over my eyeliner, which is a really big deal for me because typically my eyeliner goes kind of high, so it's hard sometimes to see my lashes. I go over my mascara twice, so I do it once now, and then I wait till the very end, and mascara is always the last thing I apply as well. So now that I've done my entire eyes kind of area, I'm gonna do my face. So I'm gonna use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It is my absolute favorite. I would 10 out of 10 recommend. It is, in my opinion, one of the best primers on the market. And Milk as a brand, everything that they do is cruelty-free and vegan. They're very big on it. They're known for it. I got it in my Cos box. However, they're really big at Ulta and I believe Sephora too. But I just use my hands and rub it all over my face and then let it sit until it gets a little grippy. What I really like about this primer is that it gets like tacky really fast and you can feel it on your skin like getting tacky, which I think is really, really cool. I'm very nervous about this. No, I'm very nervous about this color. It's gonna be a very vast difference.
I don't think like with the lighting you're gonna be like it's not.
You don't think it's gonna be that noticeable?
I think it'll be okay.
I was like, this has been the part that I'm
Yeah, no,
nervous
you're
for.
good.
It's because I think the concealer is a good color, but
Yeah.
this is
No, I think it'll be good.
okay. So this is the Stay Naked foundation by Urban Decay. Urban Decay is cruelty-free as a brand, or is this just cruelty-free?
I know that that's cruelty-free.
Okay. This specific foundation by Urban Decay is for sure cruelty-free and vegan.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of my like favorites. As I can't open it, one of my favorites. Okay, this is one of my favorite foundations. They've like rebranded how it looks, and I really like it. I always put foundation on the back of my hand, and then I dab it on my face in little dots where I know I'm gonna want it. I should have put my hair back. That's okay. But I just dab it all over. And then I use one of my bigger brushes to blend everything out. What's really important, especially in Zoom, is getting your neck and your ears, blending it all the way through. Because I still feel like even though you can't see people in person, you can still tell if they haven't blended their makeup. So I'm gonna use, again, my Beauty Blender, and I just dab it all over. And like I said, I go all the way through to my ears. I make sure that I get it there. I'm going down. I like this specific foundation because I have a lot of freckles, and this helps cover a lot of my freckles that I have, some of the redness that kind of comes with my skin. It's a really good medium coverage foundation, and it's really easy and blendable, so I really love using it, especially in the mornings, because it really makes my routine and my day go very quick.
I think it looks good.
I think it
Yeah.
does too. I think it's a really good match. Wow, for never meeting me, this is great.
I know my pale girls.
Good guess. Good guess. I think it's a really good color though. I really love how it blends everything out. And it still allows some of my like natural freckles to come through, but for the most part, it really covers a lot of them, which I really, really love.
It's C20, right? Shade C20.
This is 20 CP, shade 20 CP. I am a very odd color of skin, but this color was really, really great for me. And now I'm going back in with my NYX concealer that I used on my eyes already. This is CW04. And I just use it under my eyes so that way I can really hide. I have really bad like purple under my eyes, like just bags and discoloration. So I put it under my eyes. I normally do a little bit on my nose and a little on my chin, just because that's where I naturally get red during the day. And I do a little bit on my forehead too, just because I really enjoy having a little bright spot on the top of my head. And then I do the exact same thing. I go in with my Beauty Blender, same thing that already has some product in it, and I bounce that into my skin just so then it can kind of bleed naturally into the foundation that's already damply on my skin. This is a product that I also didn't own already, but I really love the way that it's hiding everything that I have under my eyes. It looks really, really good, which I think is really cool. Normally, when I'm in a store, it sounds really bad, but I stray away from a lot of the cruelty-free vegan things. But I didn't know that I owned so many, and what I didn't own, this is me genuinely trying it for the first time, and I've been really impressed with everything that I haven't owned yet, which is really cool.
Okay, so I'm going to set my under eyes and everywhere else that I applied concealer using this NYX translucent powder. It's finishing powder. I really like setting it with a clear powder. I did not own this product first, so I'm very excited to try it out. I feel like whenever you set your face, it's very much like you have to trust the process, because sometimes it looks very intense. Oh, it's very clear. That's great. Oh, and I'm getting it all over myself. That's okay. But I like to go over and just really mattify kind of all of that area that I've already been applying a bunch of product to, just so it can stay all day long blended. After I do that, I let that sit. You can't really see it in my face, but that's okay. I let that sit before I run more through over the rest of my face. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Contour Kit. Again, I didn't know that Anastasia was cruelty-free and vegan, so it's very cool that I already own a lot of her product. I always use the very first brown shade, and this is a light to medium palette, yeah. So I always use this shade whenever I'm contouring and cutting anything out into my face. I use my old little triangle based brush just so I can get some product. I think that it really helps carve out kind of the area that I'm going for. So I go in by my ear first, just because that's the easiest for me to kind of fix whenever it gets a little too dark like it is right now, but that's okay. I blend it out, and then I go on the other side. Again, blend it out just to kind of create more of a cheek for me. And I always blend it up a little bit into my hairline just because I like it trying to look as blended